The real estate market is brutal right now for real estate agents here in the Bay Area and in most other markets around the country. The story is lack of inventory. There are no listings for sale. It's really hard to get listings right now, and as a result, it's really hard to get our buyers into contract. In this video, I'm gonna break down the 4 things that we are doing here at Selling Silicon Valley to not just survive in this market, but to thrive and get listings and get buyers into contract. Hey everyone, for those of you who are new to the channel, my name is Danny Gould. I'm the CEO and founder of Selling Silicon Valley and Legendary Agents. Over the last 8 years, I've sold over $200 million worth of real estate here in the San Francisco Bay Area. And this year, we have had a very challenging start to the year. We are behind schedule. And one of the things that we have come to realize is that what was working for us before isn't going to work for us right now in this current environment. I was on a mastermind last week where the entry point, in order to get access to that mastermind, you had to have sold at least $50 million worth of real estate the previous year. And so being on that Zoom call, the collective genius on that Zoom call was gargantuan. I was like the smallest fish in this big pond. And the reassuring thing for me was that I am not alone. And I'm here to tell you that you are not alone either. If you are experiencing a slowdown in your business, this is perfectly normal and is a result of the market that we're in. But the truth is for myself, it's not satisfactory for me to just like blame the market or say like, hey, because of the market, we're not gonna reach our goals. I still know that there is plenty of time. There's still 3 quarters worth of time in 2023 to get out there, crush it, and get to those goals that we set forth for ourselves at the beginning of this year. So after hearing some of the brilliant ideas on that mastermind, along with things that have worked for me in the past in this sort of environment, I'm gonna break down the 4 things that we're doing differently right now in this environment to generate listings for ourselves, A, and then B, help our buyers get into contract. Before we get into those 4 things, the one overarching theme amongst all 4 of these is belly to belly. You see, we have been conditioned over the last 4 or 5 years or so, and we've been spoiled really in this business where the modernization of our lead generation, meaning online lead generation, has really spoiled us in the sense that like for the last 4 or 5 years, you probably did a lot of business from online leads. If you're watching this video right now and you've been in business that long, chances are you've been doing quite a bit of business from Zillow and Realtor.com and Redfin, if you're like a Redfin preferred partner or something like that. And the list goes on and on and on. But now the biggest issue with these lead aggregators is that Zillow and Realtor and all of these different lead sites, the vast majority of them are selling impressions. And so when they sell impressions, the way they make more money is to get more impressions. And so to make more money, they're going to drive more people to their website. Well, let's think about this for a second. If the number of houses for sale is going down and the number of impressions and leads that are being generated by these sites are going down, what does that do to the average quality of the lead? Makes perfect sense. The average quality of the lead is going down. And that is universally true, regardless of whether you are a Zillow partner or Realtor partner or any of those other websites. Chances are you've seen a decrease in the quality of lead. And by the way, the pricing has gone up too, right? So it's like a double whammy. I'm paying more for shittier lead. And that is a recipe for disaster. That's the only thing that we are really using right now to generate business for ourselves in 2023. And regardless of lead quality, let's just think about the sales funnel for a quick second. Usually online leads are higher up on the funnel than belly to belly type of interactions with buyers and sellers. One of the things that I kept hearing on this mastermind was we want to get closer to the deal. We want to get closer to the deal. We want to get closer down the sales, further down the sales funnel. That's where we need to start our prospecting. And so if the majority of our prospecting was spent up here at the top of the sales funnel or like the middle of the sales funnel, that's great. And we're building out a pipeline for like 12 to 24 months from now. But the truth is that those buyers are not going to be, and those sellers are not going to be nearly as ready as talking to someone that's down here. And the only way to really find someone down here is to get with them face to face, is to stand in front of them belly to belly. And we're gonna go into 4 different strategies that we're using right now to do exactly that. The first thing that we're doing here at SSV is we are putting a heavy emphasis on door knocking again. This is something that we haven't done for a really long time. And it's something that really got me a lot of business when I was starting out. I did a lot of farming and a lot of flyering and a lot of door knocking my first couple of years in real estate. And it really helped catapult me into a different level of sales volume. And that's because door knocking really does work if you put in the work. At the beginning of April, I asked every single person on my team, I was like, who wants to go out there? Who wants to pound the pavement? Who wants to door knock? Put together a group of 3 of them. And in their first week, already got a listing opportunity and a list to sell. meaning like a buy to sell. Already had a listing appointment with the buy to sell, and they're gonna be working with us. So like literally in like the last week and a half or so since we started doing this, we've already generated 3 sides of business and a list and a buy, all because we went out there and we're pounding the pavement. The best door knocking dialogue to use in this situation is to simply interface with the homeowner that you're talking to, let them know that this home currently went pending, or this home is currently on the market, and we know that there are going to be dozens of buyers who are interested, but only one of them is going to get the house. And so I'm wondering who else in the neighborhood you might know that's thinking about selling, and see what they say. A lot of times the sellers who are super motivated are going to tell you right away. Like my team member Isaiah, he was like, yeah dude, like I basically got like halfway through my dialogue and she was like, oh yeah, we're thinking about selling. And then he set the listing appointment right then and there. And so it's like, it is that easy. If someone is thinking about it, they're going to let you know right away. And it works really well, but you gotta put in that work. You gotta put in the time to go out there. You gotta knock. Now, one fair warning here is it's not just enough to drop flyers. Dropping flyers is passive marketing and it's not prospecting. So if we wanna get belly to belly, if we want to actually create opportunities for ourselves, we have to knock on the door. Sure, bring marketing collateral so that if no one answers, you can leave something there, but don't escape the prospecting side of this activity, because that is what's gonna generate the results for you. Not simply leaving a flyer on the front door and praying that they call you back, because there are other agents who are doing the exact same thing. You can walk up to that door and create an opportunity for yourself and have 5 other flyers be sitting there at the front porch. If we're thinking sales funnel, marketing works for middle and top, but the bottom here, if you want to get someone, they were already interviewing another agent, by the way. They were already interviewing another agent. At that point, they're probably not picking up that marketing flyer and calling anyone. So the only way for you to get in there and actually have a seat at the table is to meet them face to face at that door. The second strategy that we're using to generate listing opportunities for ourselves, it was actually taught to me by my good friend Colton Whitney out of Orange County. Colton, shout outs to you, bro. It's called the 10-10-20 strategy. And this is a strategy that's gonna help your buyers get into contract and also create listing opportunities for yourself. So it really works in multiple ways for you. And so this is what you wanna do. Anytime that you write an offer and it doesn't get accepted, you're gonna go to 10 doors on the left, 10 doors to the right, and 20 doors in front of that house, knock on them, and you're gonna have a piece of paper, like a little letter introducing yourself and your clients, letting them know that you just wrote an offer on 123 Main Street and it didn't get accepted. Here's the first page of the purchase agreement. And you're gonna obviously black out all the sensitive information on the first page of the purchase agreement, but you're definitely gonna leave the price, yeah? And that's your door knocking collateral. So you're gonna knock on the door, and dialogue is very simple in that case. It's like, hey, my name is Danny Gould. I just wrote an offer for one of my clients on 123 Main Street. It didn't get accepted, and I'm just trying to find them a house in the neighborhood. So do you know of anyone in the community who's thinking about selling? What about yourself, right? And so a lot of times they'll say like, oh yeah, we've been thinking about it. What we know is, and this is a classic Mike Ferry line, I think he's the one that says, when one home goes up for sale, like 2 or 3 or 4 more go up around it, right? So we know that anytime that a home goes up in a community and there's no other listings around it, that is a ripe opportunity for us to go steal market share, go steal inventory. And that's exactly what this strategy is designed to do. Now, if you're a baller and you are like a super hustler, extend that out. Go 20-20-40, or go 30-30-60, or go 50-50-100. That would be super cool. If you could do 50-50-100 for every single one of those opportunities, how many more listing opportunities do you think that you would generate for yourself? How many off-market deals could you do with your buyers? Probably like a good amount. If you did that over the next like 6 months, and that's all you focused on was like, hey, every time I write an offer for a buyer, I'm gonna deploy this strategy. I have a funny feeling that you're probably gonna get a few deals done. You're gonna make 2 sides on some of those deals as well. The third strategy that we're using to generate opportunities for ourselves, both listings and buyers, is hosting more webinars and in-person events. During COVID, we kind of got away from the in-person events, but those are really beneficial to procuring business for yourself, both in the short term and the long term. But what we're doing in this environment right now is kind of mixing it up. So we're doing a hybrid style. This month, we're doing a webinar. And the webinar is designed to help my team members bring all of their buyers who are currently in their pipeline, whether they're an A buyer, a B buyer, or a C buyer. And my job is gonna be to kind of share a perspective that's gonna hopefully help them move up a stage. So if they were a C buyer, hopefully get them to to B. If they're a B buyer, get them to A. And if they're an A buyer, get them like writing offers right now. And I can do that because I have a really good sense of what the market's doing right now. I have great data to share with them. And sometimes it helps to hear it from a different voice. And so this is really something that if you are a team leader, you can absolutely do. You should steal this idea, is basically host a webinar for all of your team members' prospects and all of your team members' clients, and then also open it up to your database as well. The goal is to help educate, almost do like an objection handling course for your buyers. You already know what their objections are. You should already know what they're thinking. Oh, well, the rates. Oh, well, we think that there's gonna be a recession. Oh, well, we think that it's probably gonna be better to wait for 12 months from now for X, Y, or Z reason. Well, if you know those objections and you know those conditions, then you can take all of those and create a PowerPoint that basically dissects and tackles every single one of those objections. So at the end of the webinar, they're just kind of like left there thinking like, well, maybe it is a good idea for us to buy now as opposed to wait. Because what we know, the ones that really understand the data, know that there's really only one of two ways that this market's gonna go. We're either gonna see a recession hit, and typically during recessions, housing prices actually go up because the Fed, to combat the recession, lowers rates, which introduces and brings more buyers into the marketplace, and that drives housing prices up. We already know that. And if you don't know that, then go to keepingcurrentmatters.com and research housing crisis or recession versus housing prices, and they'll have like a really cool infographic that illustrates that point to a T. And the other thing that could happen is that prices do go down, but if prices go down, it would likely be a result of interest rates going up. And so if we wait, then like, what are we waiting for? We're waiting for our monthly payments to go up. And so either way, if you do a good job on that webinar, you should be able to generate more opportunities for your ecosystem. And if you are a solo agent, right, or you're on a team, then you could do something very similar and maybe find a partner or someone else, another voice. See, it's really important that it's not your voice, because if they're working with you, then they've already heard it from you. But sometimes it helps to hear it from another voice. And that's a super impactful strategy that is bound to generate results for you. It's worked for us in the past. We did one last year when the market was all topsy-turvy, and it worked really well for us. And so we're gonna be doing that again. And for the in-person event, what we're gonna be doing is using a tool called Fellow, and using the people that say yes, like I'm kind of interested in selling my house, taking all of those people, inviting them to an exclusive home selling in-person seminar, and then using that seminar, same strategy, moving these people down the funnel, or not, because some of them, it might not be the right time for them to sell, but basically using this as a gateway to introducing them to who we are. And there's no better way to get listing opportunities than belly to belly. The fourth strategy that we're using to generate listing opportunities for ourselves in this environment is asking every single person at open house, do you need to sell your home in order to buy? It sounds so simple, but it's very effective, because chances are if someone is walking into your open house, they have a buying need. And if they have a buying need, statistically, they are likely to have a selling need as well. Now, if we just focus on the buyer dialogue and just asking them like, what do you need in a home? Like, what are you looking for? What are the top 3 things you're looking for in a house? Running the whole location, motivation, price, appointment script, like that's cool. And LP Mama works. But if we're not asking them, do you need to sell your home in order to buy? You could be missing out on a listing opportunity. And he or she who lists the house is likely to represent them on the purchase as well. So we know as agents, like, hey, the best appointment to have is a listing appointment. Because if they sign a listing agreement with you, you're in. You're helping them on that purchase. But if you're just so focused on the wants and needs of the purchase, and you're not asking them that very specific question, you could be missing out on 2 commissions. And yes, that means we're placing a heavier emphasis on doing open houses. Open houses are a phenomenal way, especially in this kind of environment, to generate opportunities for yourself. Remember, we want to get closer to the deal, and closer to the deal means belly to belly. And those who are going to open houses are typically lower of funnel. Now there's some top and middle of funnel people, so you get all kinds at open house, but you have a really good chance of finding lower bottom funnel people at open houses, and using that do you need to sell your home in order to buy dialogue is super effective in terms of converting those opportunities into listings and buys. And by the way, that's a question you should be asking every prospect, regardless of whether or not you're at open house, but it's especially necessary at open house. So Don't forget to use that piece of dialogue, regardless of which prospects that you're talking to, but especially at open houses. If you made it this far in the video and you're not yet subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? Click the subscribe button, click the little notification bell so that you get notified every single time we post a new video, and give us a thumbs up while you're at it. It costs you nothing and it helps me get in front of more real estate agents like yourself. So if you found value in this video and you feel like it's impactful to your business, the best way for you to give back is to do just that. Subscribe, like, notification bell. This is Danny Gould. I'm selling Silicon Valley. Stay legendary, everybody.